Adrian Hayes sat alone in a corner booth of a small cafe, watching the rain slide down the windows. He was 37, the CEO of a major financial company, known in magazines and the business world. Yet on his birthday, he had no one to celebrate with. His phone was silent, his parents were gone, old friendships had faded, and his work had swallowed the rest. He had everything except someone to belong to. As he drank his cooling black coffee, a little girl appeared beside his table. She was around 5, with a messy bun and a pink bow, holding a half-eaten chocolate chip cookie. "You look sad," she said. "My mommy says when people are sad, you should be kind to them." She held out her cookie. "You can have some. Cookies make everything better." Her mother hurried over, apologizing, but Adrian assured her it was fine. The girl's name was Harper, and her mother's name was Charlotte. When Harper insisted that he needed company, Charlotte hesitated, then gently asked if they could sit with him. Adrian agreed. They shared lunch and conversation. Harper talked about preschool and her stuffed rabbit. Adrian found himself smiling, something he hadn't done in a long time. Charlotte listened, really listened, and when Adrian admitted quietly that it was his birthday, she insisted they couldn't let the day pass without cake. They walked together to a nearby bakery. Harper held both their hands as if they belonged together already. Charlotte talked about her work as a kindergarten teacher. Adrian talked about how success had cost him more than it gave. Charlotte said life was too short to live without joy. Adrian didn't argue. He didn't have the strength to. They bought a small chocolate cake and went to Charlotte's modest apartment. Harper sang happy birthday 3 times and placed a paper crown on Adrian's head. At the table, eating cake with a little girl and her mother, Adrian felt something he hadn't felt in years: warmth. He closed his eyes and made a wish, not for success, but for connection, for family, for this feeling to stay. Weeks passed. Adrian began seeing them regularly. Harper greeted him with excited hugs. Charlotte welcomed him with quiet kindness. He learned Harper had a heart condition, and Charlotte struggled to keep up with medical expenses. Adrian helped where he could, quietly, respectfully, never asking for thanks. Months later, Charlotte confronted him gently. She knew he had been helping more than he admitted. He told her the truth. The day they met, he had been planning to end his life. He had believed there was no one left who would care if he disappeared. But then Harper had walked up to him and offered him half her cookie. "You saw me," he said. "Both of you did. You gave me a reason to stay." Charlotte's eyes filled with tears. They were not each other's charity. They were 3 lonely people who had simply found each other. Their relationship grew into love. A year later, Adrian proposed at the same cafe where it began, with Harper proudly holding the ring. Charlotte said yes. They became a family. When Harper later needed heart surgery, Adrian stayed through every second of fear. When Harper awoke, she smiled and whispered, "Cookies make everything better." Adrian had built an empire, but the greatest thing he ever gained came from a rainy afternoon in a cafe and a child's small act of kindness. He had found a family, and they had found him. Sometimes, a life changes not through grand gestures, but through someone simply noticing your sadness and asking if you're okay. Sometimes, a cookie is enough to save a life.